it depends on what your ambition is, right? So like, that's the most important question. Like for me, the number one ambition for me coming out of school was to repay my parents. So that's what I did. Built a business for my parents for 12 years. Then I went on to there's just, the most important question is, what are you trying to do? Like, are you trying to make more money? Are you trying to build a huge company? Are you looking for legacy? Do you want to move to Seattle?
I'm sure those will change over time.
I agree.
There are things that there are things that I would like to do for my parents. They don't need me to take care of them by any means. They've done all right for themselves, and God bless them, but sure, there's something that I would like to get my dad a Porsche, just because I feel like he would have fun in that car, because he drives an SUV for work every day.
So does that come in the form of like, you just want your business to grow?
Yeah, I just want the business to grow, and so being just an army of one and not having maybe what
Facebook
we all
and
have
Instagram
here,
video content about you being a real estate agent.
Okay.
There's nothing even remotely close. I don't know what else to say.
No, that's
like,
fine.
It's similar to the thing you said, and to your point, the fact that I wrote Crush It in 2008, and it came out in 2009, and we're here 11 years later, and the reality is most of the advice is pretty much the same. It's just, to your point, remarkable of how right that was when, people still don't see it, and this was a decade ago. If you literally, this is actually true, if you literally, people struggle, all of you struggle producing content because you think you have to have something to say. And my point is, if you just tell me what happened, that's more than enough on the delta of not doing anything at all. If you literally took your phone and said, I just ate a sub at DC Central Subs, aren't these fucking great? Like, however you communicate that, but authentically. It's been, a lot of people, just back to fucking great. A lot of people talk about my cursing now as a strength. If you go read all the comments about me cursing in 2009, 10, 11, it was such a liability. I think if you authentically communicate and don't try to posture, one of the biggest mistakes in the real estate industry is people posture. They get into the business, the first thing they do is they go buy a suit that's more expensive than the amount of money they have in life. Because they think if they put that on a credit card and look the part to be the, it's fucking ludicrous. What you're doing is you're faking it. If you can't buy a Tom Ford suit, you can't buy a Tom Ford suit. So I think if you authentically, navigate, it will be a lead gen operating thing, especially if you learn the things that were talked about today. You can run, this is why I asked you the question, why microclimates, you can write your videos in Bunker Hill. And then if you're running the Facebook and Instagram ads in Bunker Hill, the video starts with like, hey Bunker Hill, it's me. It fucking works. It's just that, I guess my advice reminds me more of fitness, right? If everybody here was like, hey, I wanna get into shape, I'd be like, okay, eat more protein and vegetables, go to the gym 7 days a week, 2 or 3 of those days should be rest and work on fascia, and cause your body can't take it, the other days lift, cut out sugar, drink water instead of, it's so basic, but 99% of people don't do it. This is why there's such a crazy thing with my world. The reason my world's so interesting in marketing is I'm willing to give it all away for free, and the few people that are actually so disciplined to actually do it get such remarkable results that they become such radical advocates, but the information's outrageously tactical and basic. And the best thing I tell people, I think, for all of you, as I'm trying to give you ammo for yourself, running a media company, watch what I'm doing. I do nothing for no reason. It's either a test or it's tried and true. There's some people that tell me they literally have now, that finally clicked to them, and they're just for beta, basically black and white copying it exactly to whatever they are. If I have like 7 hashtags in a post, their next thing has 7 hashtags. They just use real estate in this neighborhood instead of, entrepreneurship. So I really believe that it's the volume of content, and I'm glad when I asked a couple questions, all 3 of you basically said the same thing, which means the team is drilling it home. Now, what I need to get people to understand is, most people say, well, my life is boring and I have nothing to say, and they just don't put out content. And I'm just like, if your first video of every day was about the Nationals or the Capitals or the Wizards, you will get business. Because I promise you, if you made fucking Jets content and I saw it, I'd buy my house from you. That's how I make decisions. It's better than not.
Right.
But I love that you said, I love how quickly you responded. It's a very important moment. Just so you know, 99.999% of everybody who's ever heard anything from me decided not is better than the Wizards thing. That's it. I just have a lot to say, and so like, and this is why I got into that. There's a reason. Is that conversation with the young man, the document over create? That's one of the most watched. That's my most watched YouTube video, right? It's long, and I think it's most watched because that theory of document, over create is a game changer. I mean, I get thousands of emails a month about that singular piece of advice. Some people don't, if you're willing to share your family or personal life, that's gold, because people love reality TV. I'm not. But you could talk literally about the most mundane shit, and as long as you circle in the neighborhoods that you, like, I'm telling you, I've been trying to tell this to the real estate industry for a while. I think if you made a piece of content around a pothole on a street that hasn't been fixed for 6 months, it's the most viral Facebook, Instagram content. Because everybody in a neighborhood knows everything, you know what I mean? Like I have these dreams that somebody in real estate is eventually gonna realize that if there's like a tree in a small town in Kansas that every couple carved their names into, and they took a week to figure out who the first fucking couple was, and then found them and interviewed them on FaceTime while they were in a retirement home in Miami, like that would go batshit crazy in that little community, and then they would be the fucking mayor virtually of that community, which then would lead to them getting business. Like, how do you get, I love when people at, like tomorrow will say to me, tomorrow, because this is this event, somebody's gonna come up to me and be like, Gary, I love you and your team's advice, but I'm Carol. I fucking own Outer Beverly Hills. I've been there for 22 years. Like, I don't need it. I've got the reputation. And she's right-ish. And that's what you can speed up with one viral piece of neighborhood content on Facebook and Instagram. You just get full penetration and awareness. Like, everybody who does real estate in the state of Texas should only go to every high school football game and become the local high school football personality. Because it's religion. Everybody gets hyped when I hype them like this, then they do it for 4 days, a week, a month, nothing happens, they're like, fuck that. You know what, Caleb, can you actually put this right into this vlog right now? You know how we put up those, AJ got me for my birthday, like historic tweets that I've tweeted, and we put them in a frame and it's right outside my office? Did you look carefully at the 2009 and 2010 tweets, how much engagement they had?
Versus now?
Yeah. Did you or not?
No.
You know that some of those tweets only had 2 likes and a share?
I did know, yes. Yeah.
People forget what my 2009 and 10 looked like. Everybody starts with only 1 like.
You had more hair though.
More hair now.
More hair now?
No, back then? Yeah, back then. But it looks, a lot of people think like I have more hair now, mainly because like I would shave, it was just a way. I wish I had more hair now.
It's a cool hair.
I appreciate it, Reed. So I think that's the answer. Really do. I really do. Contextual content and media spent against it in that neighborhood will lead to enormous awareness. It's like running Super Bowl commercials. Got it? That's it. And here's the tactical part. You put a ton of content, eventually something kind of goes viral and you spend a fuckload of money against it because people prove that they gave a fuck. But think like a local newspaper. Like this is the stuff I'm telling my sister. And the reason my sister has been doing pretty well, besides any impact that I have on her, is she's gone authentic. Her posts are like, I suck at real estate. It's my first year, I haven't sold shit. And people are like loving my sister because she's telling the truth. And that doesn't come natural to her. She was brought up in an Eastern European household that says posture to the outside. So like I've chipped away at her. I was like, you can't fake it. And that's why people are resonating with it. It's just the truth. A lot of people hold the truth back as a leverage point to make more margin. Everybody in real estate and auto made more money pre-internet. Now the customer's educated. I'm about to build the biggest agency in the world, then I'm gonna write a book and tell everybody how to do it. All my competitors. Because I know it's execution, right? Former employee, I know Jesse, you know him well, right? He went out and went to go do a Garyvee thing until he emailed me this weekend and says, I need a job. Because you have to be able to execute. Throw a football 73 yards on a dime if you want to play there. Cool, now go do it. It's the fucking execution. Everybody here is gonna be really sad when social media is not the current thing. Somebody knew that the yellow pages were right and they owned it for a decade and built a great business. Amazon knew that Google AdWords were right and built the biggest company in the world. So did Gary Vaynerchuk and helped his dad build a big liquor store. You can't let these moments pass. You're sitting at 4Ds, you know who I am. You've heard the propaganda, you've consumed the podcast, you've paid real money to be here today. To not go now, tomorrow, and start truly actually executing at 100, not 80, 70, 50, or 30, would be ludicrous. If you ask me at its highest level, what have I figured out about what's happening with me? It's that I've given people permission to do shit and they're using me to point to take the blame if they fail. And I love it. I love that I have unlimited amounts of examples in my head through communication, whether voice, in person, or written to me, of basically what I am as a shield. People are just worried about other people's judgment. The only reason I'm in better physical shape today than I was 5 years ago was I realized I'm only at my best when I'm accountable to somebody else. So when I realized if I hired somebody to be my trainer and travel with me, I didn't want to let Mike or Jordan down. You just have to hack. You just have to, I don't have the answer right now, but you know what it is. And by the way, I wanted to get into physical shape for like 5 to 7 years and I couldn't, it's amazing what you can't see when it's yourself. But if you can figure out how to do a hack like that.
And that's the struggle point for me, is
by the way,
figure out what that is.
By the way, maybe it's putting yourself out there and then your community becomes that and then you don't let them down and it's actually you.
Yeah.
Could be.